Greetings. Are you ready to master the power and force that's within you, that you inherited from the originator, creator of the heavens and the earth? A lot of us won't admit that were made deaf, dumb, and blind. We were made to think that this was the first man on the planet. Some people call him the caveman. As you see, this is a dictionary, and he's defining the word man in this dictionary. This is an old dictionary in the late 40s or the early 50s. Since then, he has took out pictures. You ain't gonna see no pictures in a modern day dictionary of a white man claiming he's man. Let alone the original man. Since then, his anthropologists, his scientists have found bones saying it's the black man. They don't know how far back those bones go. They're guessing. But now they're saying millions of years. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that the original Asiatic black man has no birth record. But he also stated that the Caucasian white man only been on the planet for 6,000 years. Now the FBI, CIA, all the alphabet agencies raided the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, took out all this knowledge, and they said, we can't let the young generation have this knowledge. That's why they're eliminating Black History Month. That's why they are eliminating Black history, period. Calling it American history. Because they don't want you to think that you separate. They want you to think that you are American. And they want you to think that we are like them. We are kin. And so they tell our brothers and sisters, they say, well, look, we all bleed red blood. Now, in my archives, I illustrate that a hawk an eagle and a chicken are two birds. They bleed, they got feathers, they got claws, they lay eggs, but they are two different species of bird. people don't be frying up eagles. You don't have eagle wings. You have chicken wings, but you don't eat eagle. Both of them are derivatives from the buzzard family. And then the Bible, in the dietary laws of Moses, it says that you're not supposed to eat chicken, duck, buzzards. None of the feathered creatures shall you eat. They are off limits. But we eat it anyway. But we still don't eat that buzzard. We still don't, but we eat that turkey though. And that turkey is a member but the turkey is a different species than the eagle. His culture, the turkey's culture, is different. Same with the black man and the white man. The white man is the last one to come out of the original Asiatic black man. And you can tell because he lacks color. He lacks color, which is a frequency. He has very little melanin. Class is now in session, and I don't want to rule you, and I don't want to fool you. I only want to school you with the flavor of the Savior and the kind of knowledge not in college. Truth should be told and not sold, more valuable than oil, silver, or gold. I go to the root to get the truth. I even go deep to the black seed to feed the truth to the old and counsel the black youth. They say age is just a number, but every generation the black man gets dumber. Sometimes I wonder, I really do, if Allah will just let us wander in the valley of the deaf, dumb, and blind, or will we wake up on time from the land of Nod to the kingdom of God? Rise and shine, black man. Elevate your mind. It's prime time. Black nation time. Now we're going to get into that word nation because we don't really know what that word means, But anyway, let's tell you what we're going to have today for you. We're going to go to the so-called fall of the Nation of Islam. We're going to go to that. And then we're going to go to, we're going to have word definition so you can get an understanding of the word nation, so you can understand that you're not a part of America so you can understand that. So you can understand that we are different. And the reason why we are over in the United States of America, the real reason. And, we didn't come over here as tourists. We didn't come over here as immigrants or nothing like that. We came over here as prisoners of war and slaves. For 400 years, we have been kept behind enemy lines. Now, February used to be Black History Month. You could hardly see that on YouTube. Now, last year, they gave you some Black history on YouTube. Now, on your local stations, some stations celebrate Black History Month, but they only celebrate the Black history of the Black man in America when he was enslaved. Now, when we started our soul school session, we started out studying Genesis. We was asking the question, when God made or created or originated, it says in Genesis, God created, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. So the heavens and the earth, at one point in time previous to God making the heavens and the earth, God existed. I like to use the word Allah. God is the English term for the Most High or the Supreme Being. But the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says that the word God means the possessor of power and force, which we all have. But a lot of us don't realize we have power and force inside of us. So we look outside out of ourselves for power and force. We have been made to think like that because when we were captured and brought here and made slaves, we lost the knowledge of self, lost the knowledge of our language, lost the knowledge of our culture, our God, and we don't know the way we used to be prior to coming over here as slaves. We think we were wild and crazy like the white man. We think we were over in the jungles running around naked, eating each other, and we got that notion from them Tarzan movies. We never did know we had sophistication and culture, and we're on a high level of thinking, even though they show the pyramids in Africa. Now you knew it took some, you could tell it took some sophistication for them to build them pyramids. But they didn't want to tell you that or let you know that the pyramids were a part of Africa. They wanted to let you know that they want you to know or think that the pyramids is in Egypt. And so they didn't want you to know that at one period of time, Egypt was called Kemet. And it was strictly black. Strictly black at one time. And the Cleopatras, at one time, they were strictly black. But Egypt was captured by Alexander the Great, then who was a Greek, and then captured by or took over by the Romans. And you got Mark Antony and Caesar hitting Cleopatra. And so they started getting lighter. That's who you see over there now. Babies of Mark Antony, Cleopatra, or Caesar. Mediterraneans, but they are Semitic because they got that black in them. Some of them are Semitic and some of them are straight up Caucasian. And some of them adapted Islam. But Islam came with us, the Asiatic black man. Islam is our nature from the beginning. And so you hear some 5%ers or Nation of Gods on Earth say they're not Muslims because they say God don't bow down to nobody. That's just like that's the thinking of the white man. You say, how's that? Well, the white man, he give you his laws and tell you to follow his laws. But he don't even follow his laws. He break his laws. He break his own laws. So your daddy tell you say, son or daughter, these are the rules of the house. And this is what I want you to do. I want you to clean up your room, do this and that and the other. Now, he's giving you orders. You in your daddy's house. Now, if he don't follow his own orders, if he don't go by his own rules, if he don't clean up his room, but he make you clean up your room, and he chastises you if you don't have your room clean. But he don't clean up his room. His room is nasty and filthy. What kind of father is that, and what kind of God is that? So yeah, God got to follow his own laws. That's what Muslim mean. Muslim means when you go deeper into the word, divine order. So you submitting to divine order. That's the only way you're going to have peace, if you're in divine order. And divine order is the laws and orders of the supreme being, or the originator of the heaven and earth. That's the only way you're going to have peace. And that brings peace, that kind of peace is freedom, justice, and equality. That's divine order. That's why you hear him chanting, no justice, no peace. Because the United States, the white man who invented the United States of America, he's out of order. So it never is no justice, no peace. So it's always wars and rumors of wars. So Yakub is the black scientist. Note, school teachers teach out of books. There's now they got videos they teach out of. But y'all don't think that we should teach, the black man should teach out of a book or out the videos. Y'all think that we should just go by what the news media say and teach off of that. So Master Farad Muhammad entered Detroit in 1930. Black Bottom, east side of Detroit, where I was born back in 1946. In the month of July, the same month Master Farad arrived in Detroit. He came to Detroit on the 4th of July, 1930. My born date is July 28th, 1946. Now that's 16 years after the arrival of Master Farad Muhammad in Detroit, Michigan. And dig this. The word 6 is in the number 16. Now, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad say there's always 6 cycles of time. And add 1 to the number 1 to 6. When you do that, it equals 7. Do you understand what I'm saying? I was born 16 years after the arrival of Master Farad Muhammad. And when you add that 1 to the 6, it equals 7. We're now in the cycle of 7. And it is called the Sabbath day. Sabbath is Hebrew for 7. So we're now in the Sabbath day. Now it's the year 20 25. When you add those numbers up, it's born. I mean, it's 9. 9 is born. So we're beginning, and we must be born into a new cycle, the 7th day, or the Sabbath day. Yaqub is a black scientist that made the Caucasian, the colored man, aka the devil, meaning the white man, time, the white man time is up, it's been up. But he had an extension of time because most of our people don't know this kind of knowledge that I'm giving you. And the white man is trying his best to keep it from you. That's why he's closing down your history books. He's closing down the real black history because he don't want you to get to the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Now you notice that he talks about Marcus Garvey. He hardly talks about Noble Drew Ali. He talk about Martin Luther King. He talk about Malcolm X. But he don't talk about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Now, I am an FOI soldier in the Nation of Islam. I'm on my post as the Minister of Communication and the Counselor of the 7 on the sacred grounds called Motown, aka the 313. If you notice, that adds up to 7. Mecca, Motor City, also known as the D. And the D is for divine, aka Detroit, Temple number 1, Nation of Islam. I'm battling on air in cyberspace, sending out those good vibrations to you, the Lost Flower Nation of Islam and black world all over the 3rd planet. Now, I ain't joking around. I ain't acting like a clown. See, there's a time for everything. Now, sometimes I might throw out a little humor, but Allah's mad. There's a time to get angry. There's a time to get mad and a time to get glad. So what you think that Allah is doing with all this bad weather? He's using California as an example. So it's time for you to wake up, black man. Get righteous. It's time for you to wake up and get righteous. Now, a lot of you think if you're righteous and you can't get righteous, but they think if you're righteous, you're a square. And they think that you can't get righteous on your own. Yeah, you can get righteous on your own if you start studying yourself. Know thyself. So the first thing I want to do is break down we'll break down the dictionary. Now, we don't study the dictionary. We don't go to the dictionary like Malcolm did. When Malcolm was in jail, he had a grasp and a concept on words, breaking it down or dissecting popular words. And the word we're going to break down or dissect is the word real. You always hear brother talking about, yeah, that nigga is real. That's a real nigga. He don't know what he's saying. You know, but it's a popular word. And it's an adjective. And it's Latin. It's not English, it's Latin. You know, and the word real, existing or in fact. Now it's also used as slang. As like get real. You know, that's a slang term, street term. Get real. You know. But the meaning behind it is artificial. You know, the brother is artificial. He ain't real. He not original. You know. He's all unnatural. We all are unnatural living over here in America because we were made unnatural. We were taking out our natural self, our natural habitat, and made unreal. We don't even know who we really are. So we adopt words like African American to describe us. If you take a potato, and I know y'all have probably heard this scenario before. Say this potato originated over in Africa, or this cabbage originated over in Africa, or this cotton originated over in, which is a plant, originated over in Africa and was brought to America and planted in America and started growing in America. Its origins, the original origin is over in Africa, so-called Africa. It's still, the origins is in Africa, but it was transplanted in America, you know. So now they got cotton fields. Well, that's us, black man, black woman. So the word is a Latin word meaning true, authentic, genuine, law, or relating to immovable things such as real property. Now we have the slang or the ebonics for real or really, words deriving from the word real, like real estate, real estate, meaning buildings or improvements. Then you got reality, the quality and fact of being being real. Then you got realty. It's a noun depicting real estate. The state, a condition or stage of life, property, possessions, a large individually owned, a large piece of land individually owned, piece of land individually owned, containing a residence, defining real. Now we're going to define realize, because it's got that word real in it. That takes on another connotation, to make real, to understand fully, to convert assets, rights. That's got three different definitions right there. To convert assets into money. Gain. So we're gonna stop it right there. And we're gonna focus in on the word realize. Now remember, I made this statement before that the English language has 3 or 4 different languages inside of itself, of English. And they call those languages, you got jargon, vernacular, legalese, vocabulary, defining the word state, a body of people organized under one government, nation, church, and a state. See, a church means congregation, people, a group of people. So we were introduced to the religion of Christianity. And then you have a congregation of Christians, which is a state. The Vatican has a nation state. It has its own army and everything. Where the Pope be at. Over in Italy, over in Rome. So Master Farad Muhammad formed the Nation of Islam. He realized the Nation of Islam when he came here to Detroit. By getting a congregation of believers to believe in self, by telling them you are the originator, you are from the originator of the heavens and the earth. You have the DNA of the originator of the planet Earth. So now we're going to go to the Bible, go to Genesis, and I'm reading from the Bible, King James Version. It says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now we ask the question, if the earth wasn't created, The heavens and the earth weren't created, but God was here already. Now, he haven't even created the sun and the moon yet, but God was here already in darkness. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said it was triple darkness. And then this was in the beginning. It was a beginning. It wasn't the beginning. But Moses don't know the real. He wasn't here. He don't know the beginning of God. So he just came in on chapter 1 with, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. But it indicates, or letting you know that God was already here before he created the heavens and the earth. And that God is the God of all that you see. This is what God realized. That word realized. He realized this in his own being. And he knew what was in his own being. And he brought out what was in himself. He had the black germ and the brown germ in him. He had the female, all self-contained in a seed. That black seed. Now we are trying to get the black man here in America that's been made slave to come back to reality. Because he's living in a fantasy world right now. And it's not his fault, though. He was made this way. 400 years of slavery, see. So this YouTube can be beneficial to you if you could be made to realize who you really are. So the enemy, he want to be your God. See, going back to Jesus in the desert for 40 days and 40 nights, on a fast for 40 days and 40 nights, and he was encountered by the devil, and the devil wanted to turn Jesus out into his world and make Jesus worship him. And that's what we doing now, black man and black woman. Jesus represents us. The word Jesus means justice. We have no justice and we have no peace. A lot of people scared to say that because they got turned out by the devil. They down with the devil. But the thing is to be up with Allah. And he made that word Allah seem to be invented by the Arabs. So I'm gonna go to the dictionary and show you how he tricks you with that word, with words. He tricks you with words. So I'm gonna try to find the word Islam. Oh, here you go, Islam. Okay, Islam. I'm looking at the Webster's dictionary. It say Islam, submission to God's will. Now, here's where the trick come in at. The Muslim religion founded by Muhammad. See, now the Arab done got a big head after it, you know. When the white man, now he could have put that in the dictionary, but he believed that Muhammad founded Islam. And y'all believe Muhammad founded Islam. Now, he could be talking about Master Farad Muhammad, but he's talking about Mustafa Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, the brother. He was righteous 1,400 years ago. Now, now check this out, y'all. Don't turn it off. You know, stick and stay and don't go away, because I'm about to try to make a point here to you. I hope you can get it. I hope you can realize what I'm saying. It says submission to God's will. Now let's fast forward it up until Jesus. Did Jesus submit to the will of God? If he submitted to the will of God, then that make him a Muslim. Islam, submission to God's will, the Muslim religion. Muslim collectively, or the land in which they predominate. No, man. If you submit to God's will, you ain't in no particular spot. If you submit to God's will, the whole planet, the whole universe is submitting to the will of God, because it's in divine order. Divine order has no boundaries. See, that's how he fools y'all, because this is his English, is his language, and he just you know, when he defines a word, it's either in Latin, French, or whatever. So he just take words from other languages and make a language, you know, that he don't really know what it means himself. So he just make up stuff and he guess at what it means, because he only been on the planet 6,000 years. Now, I'm not making fun of you, white man. I'm just telling the truth. You know, I ain't gonna try to belittle you. There might be some humor in there a little bit, but I'm just telling the truth. That's why you erase stuff from the YouTube. That's why you want to kill people when they speak a profound truth, and you want to delete them from their channel or defund them. You don't want them to get paid if they tell the truth. You want to punish them. You know, you want to punish those that tell the truth, no matter if they black or white. See, all white people ain't the same. They got some white Muslims that know the truth. You know, the Shriners are Muslim here in America. The Masons are Muslim sons. You know, and some of them went rogue. You know, a whole lot of white people that are Masons and Shriners, they went rogue, along with some black Muslims. They went rogue. You know, they're not following divine order. So Mustafa Muhammad, 1400 years ago, he was just in the line of divine, of prophets sent to the desert people because they were doing some foul things. I ain't gonna get into everything they were doing, but they didn't recognize Bilal, you know. And so the Prophet Muhammad told him, he said, Bilal gonna get into paradise before y'all, because he was here before y'all. You know, mostly a lot of foreign Muslims over there, Orthodox Muslims they call themselves, they don't even follow the Sunnah of Muhammad 1400 years ago. Peace and blessings be upon him. That's why they call themselves different names like Sunni Muslims and Shiite Muslims. They some of them follow, a lot of them follow something else. They don't follow the Muslims. I mean Prophet Mustafa Muhammad, you know, or Allah, the original Asiatic black man. They don't follow that. But a lot of them do. Now I could say Iran follow that follow the Prophet, but they got Shiite and Sunni in their country. So the white man take advantage of that. He goes over there and he divides and conquers. And the hijab, his woman goes over there, the white man woman go over there, tell the Iranian women, you don't have to wear Muslim dress. You don't have to wear the hijab, you know. And they start tripping over there. The Iranians don't know how to handle his woman. They don't know how to handle, you know, that they following, you know, the ways of the white man. Just like we are over here, black man and black woman. That's why you think your woman be wearing them wigs. She don't want to be natural. She want to be unnatural. So the Chinese, you know, they get over selling our women wigs, braids, stuff like that. You know, and makeup, different things like that to enhance their beauty. And this done spilled over to the dudes now. Them guys don't grow them dreads or braids. They don't grow that. It's artificial braids and dreads that they get attached. They spend $100-something, getting their hair braided, long like the woman, and y'all know this true. So we follow the white man culture. He got long hair and beards in them caves. This is from the dictionary now. This is him. His hair even grew longer than that. And he grew them beards. And he had hair like a monkey, looking like a monkey, or gorilla or ape, all over his body. He was very hairy from crossbreeding with dogs. And the Arab Muslim know that in chapter or Surah 18, he speaks about the caveman in them caves mating with them dogs. But the reason why he don't bring that out to you is because some of them, want to rule you. They want us to think the black men over here in Detroit and all over America that they the original Muslim. No, but Yaqub only made you 6,000 years ago, going on 6,000 years ago. He took that white germ or white gene or dominant or recessive gene, and out of that recessive gene, he took the black gene or dominant gene and made the Caucasian. Now that's a long story right there. I don't want to stay too long, but I want to be strong. I want to get to why the Nation of Islam so-called failed. Because we still got that white gene and black gene in us. And our black woman rules us, the black man over here. Y'all know this is true. Now when you get with a black woman, black man, you just get with her for one thing, because she look good. And all you want to do is sex her up. Very few black men really do respect and want to do the black man right. I mean, respect and want to do the black woman right. And very few black women respect and want to do the black man right. Because during slavery, this was put in us, see. And the white man keeps the black woman close to him, and he don't punish her. She gets the jobs, She be working when the brother don't be working. And the black woman is made to think, well, if he ain't got no job, I don't want him. So he make it hard for a brother to be himself. You got to kiss or play with the white man's balls, you know, before you can get paid. You know, you don't want to play with your own balls. You want to play with the, you know, what I mean by that is you don't want to play, you play football, basketball. The day of sports day anyway. You know, you off into them sports all day. Today, tomorrow, Sunday is political day, church day. And you notice they got political day and church in the same day, which is Sunday. You know, the first day of the work week. Today is the Sabbath day, Saturday. You know, it's sports day. And our women, first, they wasn't digging on sports, but they want to get you interested in them, so they get interested in sports. Now they hooked on that. Now they been playing with the white man ball, but they doubling down now. Because we don't make balls. We don't make nothing. We don't have balls no more. We lost our balls. You know. So I know y'all, a lot of I'm making some of y'all mad, but just dig on what I'm saying, man. So enough of that. We're gonna go here. And tell you how the nation went backwards. They didn't realize or comprehend who they really were, and they didn't realize who Master Farad was, because we have been made to believe in miracles. They say Jesus performed miracles, and he would raise people from the dead, not realizing that it was talking about the mentally dead and not the physically dead. Somebody physically died, they ain't coming back. But if you mentally dead, like we are now, you could come back. We didn't realize that. We didn't comprehend that. We didn't internalize that. And a lot of us were envious and jealous of each other. And even in the ranks of the FOI, we were jealous of each other. The white man, all he do is sit back and observe. You know, all eyes is on us all the time. All his eyes is on us. He try to find a weakness where he could come in. There's always a Judas in your organization. I don't care if it's in the church, I don't care if it's in business, politics, music. It's always a Judas working for the white man, because Judas was he was working for the enemy, and they paid him. He was a snitch or informant, and they paid him to point out Jesus and have him, crucified. So every time you walk around with a cross on your, cross in your house, a necklace that's a cross, that don't represent the resurrection. That's a crucifixion. Resurrection is not in that cross. How can you imagine resurrection if you don't see it? You haven't never seen nobody rise from the dead, physically dead. But you've seen someone rise from the mentally dead. Their awareness get heightened, their intelligence get heightened, and they're on another level, superior to yours. And sometimes most of us get jealous or envious because of that, because we can't break the hang-ups we have inside of us. Maybe we got molested by a family member, but we're not going back in history trying to understand why it's like this. We're not trying to figure out whether or not we were molesting each other before we came over here as slaves, or was we made to do this by the slave master? So the white man don't never want you to figure that out. So he keep all that kind of knowledge and information away from you. So it looked hopeless for us. So God, Allah, God, and the person of Master Muhammad came to Detroit to give us the knowledge of self. He said, once you have a thorough knowledge of self, I ain't got to be with you no more. Because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that he's making leaders, not followers. He's making gods, or enhancing your godship, enhancing the power and force within you. Just like your father. He's not raising you to depend on him forever. Just like y'all be saying, well, that brother still live with his mother and father. He's 38 years old, still living with his mother and father, or still live with his mother, or still. That's because they didn't raise him to be a leader. They didn't raise him to be God. They raised him to be a devil. That's what most of our parents are doing. They're raising us to be like the white man, a troublemaker, a wicked person. So that's why you sell dope to your brother. You think you're going against the white man. The white man sold the dope to you. Indirectly sold the dope to you. He's selling the dope to you in medicine. Morphine and heroin
is more a form of morphine, you know, and he can make many forms out of heroin, many kind of drugs and pills out of heroin. And when you go to the doctor, he prescribe these pills and stuff to you, and you get hooked on like pain pills. How many brothers and sisters is hooked on pain pills? The medicine cabinet is full of all kind of drugs. But ask yourself this: in the beginning, before God created the heavens and the earth, was there any physicians or doctors or lawyers? Why didn't he die? Or why did he live so long? They say a day, a, 1,000 years is like, a day is like 1,000 years to Allah. And guys, and they were living long back then. When you go to the Bible and say Methuselah lived 900 and plus years, and you know, they were living long. See, all these diseases is invented by the white man. He uses them as weapons, biological weapons. The chicken flu and all like that. Allah didn't make that. God didn't make that. God did not make uh, pandemics. See, when you are head of a nation and you want to stay in power, well, you have a whole army of scientists. And he said, I want y'all to, he have a part of the scientists. He said, I want y'all to make diseases for the white man. I mean, I want y'all to make diseases for the black man. Try to kill him, slow him down, you know. So the white man's uh, science has grown to nanotechnology. They got nanotechnology, stuff you can't even see, micro uh, technology, diseases, and technology to enter your bloodstream. Cancer. It depends on how strong your vibrations are, your aura are for your resistance. Now, all this information is coming out at you. So they always probing to try to find a weakness in you. And so they found one in the Nation of Islam. And this is what happened.
The Britain National Secretary 1,000%. I myself honored to be an assistant to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad here at number 2. Now today, I devote my life and my death to the Honorable AWEARNESS Muhammad. sisters, it gives me the greatest honor and a privilege to introduce this next giant, the Nation of Islam. The man who inspired me when I was in the ranks, the man who inspired me when I was lieutenant, and brothers all over the wilderness of North America. It gives me an honor and a privilege to bring before you the Supreme Captain of the Nation of Islam, Brother Supreme Captain Raymond Sharif.
Assalamu alaikum. In the most holy name of Allah, the all-wise, true, and living God, the find and life-giver to we the lost nation in the wilderness of North America, the Lord of the world, to whom all praise is due. And in the name of his true servant and divine apostle, our leader and teacher, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. My beloved brothers and sisters, I'm indeed happy to be here with you today on this wonderful occasion. I am even more happy to have the privilege of having these few words to say to you. Myself, as Brother Minister Shaw, pledge my undivided allegiance to our Brother Minister Wallace D. Muhammad. Having been placed in this very lofty position by his father, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I shall carry on in the tradition that his father has taught me. And by traveling that path, I am sure that we will be successful. I'm not before you to teach you, but I would like to have your undivided attention because I have a very important passage to read to you from the Holy Quran. Yes, sir. This is from the Holy Quran, page 168, family of Amra, section 15. Sufferings to be met with perseverance. And Muhammad is but a messenger. Messengers have already passed away before him. If then he dies or is killed, will you turn back upon your heels? And he who turns back upon his heels will do no harm at all to Allah. And Allah will reward the grateful. Brothers and sisters, remember those words because they are very significant. I shall not detain you any longer. I shall turn you back into the Brother Minister as I say unto you in the name of Allah and in the name of his true servant and apostle, the most honorable Elijah. Assalamu alaikum. My beloved brothers and sisters, I know you enjoy listening to the reading from the glorious Holy Quran Sharif.
to our beloved Supreme Captain, Brother Supreme Captain Raymond Sharif. Now, my beloved brothers and sisters, let us move right along, because we know life is based on time. Time is based on life. If we lose one, we lose them both. Some of the giveaway and bring before you, not a national-known brother, but an international-known brother, who was the heavyweight champion of all the world, brother heavyweight champion Muhammad Ali.
Assalamu alaikum. In the name of Almighty God, whose personal and proper name is Allah, we forever thank Allah for coming to us, searching among us, finding one, raising him to lead and teach you and I in the way of truth and light. I speak none other than our beloved leading teacher, Muhammad Muhammad, and greet my brothers and sisters in our original language, which is the Arabic language, which means may peace be unto you. Assalamu alaikum. I'm very, very anxious to hear Brother Wallace Muhammad today, and I'm sure you are. So only going to take a few minutes to say a few words. Everyone here today and throughout the world know that I have many, many fans and followers nationwide in all walks of life. European, African, Chinese, Japanese, Jamaican, American, and what have you. And all of these people just about look up to the name Muhammad Ali, and they respect me and my judgment. And I was taught that I should always look out for people who look up to me. And I know that there are many people who've been following my image and my little name in the sports world for the past 15 years now. When I was Cassius Clay, I could not talk. When I was Cassius Clay, I was just we might say, Uncle Tom, so-called Negro, looking one day to be married to a nice white blonde, living in the hills in California with the rest of the brothers that I know that up there today. Yeah. Now that I've accepted the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the beautiful name that he has given me, Muhammad Ali, I now have a wise teacher and a wise guide. And my wise teacher is the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and the wise guide that I've been with most of the time, because I didn't have the time to be with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad on my travels, but he honored me and blessed me with his son, Herbert Muhammad, who's been leading me and teaching me all of the ways, the likes and the dislikes of his father. I met Brother Herbert Muhammad in 1964, just after defeating Sonny Liston for the World Heavyweight Championship. And he taught me all about his father and many things about the teachings that I didn't have time to receive at the mosque. And at that time, I was managed by 10 white millionaires who called themselves the Louisville Sponsoring Group. And Brother Herbert Muhammad, our contract with these fellows lasted from 1960 to 66. After 1966, Brother Herbert Muhammad, I asked, could he be my manager? I asked the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, could he handle my affairs? And he blessed me, and he okayed Brother Herbert Muhammad as my manager and advisor. And Brother Herbert Muhammad taught me many things that I should say and shouldn't say. Johnny Carson invited me to TV shows, well-known sports announcer Howard Cosell, David Frost, Dick Cavett, and many of them set many traps for me, knowing that I was a follower of Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And then in the boxing world too, they laid all kind of traps. And before I would go on the television shows, I never would make a move without calling up Brother Herbert and asking him, what should I say? What should I do? How would the messenger look at this? And he would always tell me what he think the messenger would say or would have done. And he stood beside me in that draft fight with the American government, which is a very powerful case and story. He made me strong during the time when I had to divorce my first wife, very beautiful black sister who promised she would accept the teachings, but she didn't. And after separating, had a lot of mental problems. He comforted me, stayed with me, and helped me to get over that. After that, the world realized that I followed the Honorable Elijah Muhammad as a Muslim. We immediately received invitations to countries such as Egypt, Arabia, Libya, Syria, Abu Dhabi, Iran, Pakistan, Indonesia, and many more countries. And all the kings of these countries, such as President Nasser of Egypt, all spoke of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He says, when is Elijah Muhammad coming to Cairo? And we promised him that whenever he had time, he would come. King Faisal of Saudi Arabia all asked him about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Colonel Gaddafi of Libya loaned us $4 million so the Honorable Elijah Muhammad could help build up the black community here in America. All these people asked about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and all of them seemed to know Brother Herbert Muhammad, because I found out later he had been to these countries about 6 different times before he even met Muhammad Ali. And he was recognized as the son of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad before he even met Muhammad Ali. And when I was expelled from the mosque a few years ago, it was Brother Herbert Muhammad who taught me many things that I was not allowed to, I would say, receive because I wasn't in the mosque. He kept me on the right road, taught me right from wrong. And now, when I went to visit the messenger a little before my suspension, he always told me that if I ever needed any help, if I ever needed any advice, he always told me to see Brother Herbert because he could advise me on what he would say or do in any occasion. This is a great blessing to know that if the Honorable Elijah Muhammad wasn't around or I couldn't get to him, I could go to his son and he would tell me just what and how he would have done if he was in the same position. And after hearing of the death of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, of the passing away, immediately I took a jet to Chicago to see the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. To see Herbert, because I knew Herbert would tell me just what's happening, how I should feel, what I should say, and what I should do. And I obeyed what the messenger told me, and right away I went to see Brother Herbert Muhammad. And on coming to Chicago, Brother Herbert told me something of a parable that he gave me a few years ago. We were once, I can't picture what state or what country we were in, but we saw an apple tree. Brother Herbert Muhammad says, Brother Ali, what do you think is the most important part of that tree? I said, the apples? He said, no. I said, the branches, the limbs. He said, no. I said, oh, it's the roots, because it's the roots. We don't see the roots. They nourish the tree, and they're under the ground, and they play the most important part, but yet they can't be seen. He said, that's not the most important thing. I said, what is it? He said, it is the seed, which is the most important part of the tree.
Now that right there tells me that Muhammad Ali is blaming his loyalty to Wallace Muhammad on Brother Herbert. We're going to continue this
and I'm going to comment with each brother that comes up to testify that they are loyal to Wallace Muhammad. So we're going to move on because I don't want to stay too long. And we're going to go to Supreme Lesson.
Teaching for the civilized lost found tribe in the wilderness of North America.
Now this is where we're going to show you where Master Farad Muhammad have already knew that there was going to be an interruption in the Nation of Islam. It's in the Supreme Wisdom Lesson book. So this is for you. It says, teachings for the civilized lost found tribe in the wilderness of North America. What do that suggest to you? All you brothers and sisters that follow the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and even those that follow Wharf Dean, those that follow Minister Farrakhan, those that follow Marvin Muhammad, Silas Muhammad, Supreme Minister John Muhammad, Levi Kareem Muhammad. This is for all y'all. Pay close attention. And we're going to comment on this also. But pay close attention.
In 90 and 120 degrees, the completion of 933-degree cycles and the completion of Hill with the Unit 9 is 1/2 way for the city of Los Angeles in the province of K-Life, California, in the wilderness of the Northern Hemisphere, so says the Almighty God himself. The wilderness of North America has completed itself with the teachings of Islam from the mouth of the Almighty God through its messenger, so says the Almighty God. There is no more water, the substance of life, to be found. There is no life in its branches, nothing but death to be found. The water, light, wisdom, knowledge has been consumed, some by its 10%ers, some by, and mostly taken away by Almighty God. To have the wisdom and the knowledge to survive hell and the doom that is creeping into its brain and the body is to depend on the 5%ers. Within the Nation of Islam, the 5% teachers of righteousness teaches the true meaning of the supreme wisdom that was brought here to the shores of North America by the Supreme Being, Master W. D. Fard Muhammad. Through different phases and complex cycles, the true breakdown of its teachings and meaning, mainly those who have received different degrees of light. Therefore, within the nation as it stands at present, this procedure has been undertaken with great strides. The rule of the 10% in the Nation of Islam has come to a head, which, like any other force who do 10% in the Nation of Islam, has come to a head, which, like any other force who do not obey its natural laws and mathematics, has produced its own destruction. Certain breakdown.
Now, do you understand that? It has produced its own destruction. So this right here is illustrating the so-called fall of the Nation of Islam. Now, this was written before it fell, so-called fell.
And the supreme teachings tell of the catastrophe which has taken place. The poisonous fluid which flows in the brains of those who participate in this unrighteous act against the supreme God and its people has deteriorated itself. This cancer which produced corruption within God's bounds are paying heavy prices for the goods they have purchased. Therefore, righteousness has produced dissatisfaction against unrighteousness. Any opposition and disobedience or rebellion toward and throughout this 5% cycle results in expulsion and death from the Nation of Islam within the bounds or righteousness has been revealed. Question: where are the 5%ers? Answer: the 5%ers look like you and me. Some are dressed bad. Some are located in the ghettos of hell, the government of the devil's educational system, the law enforcement of the devil's penal institutions, the high government of the devil's civilization. Question: what do the 5%ers look like? Answer: they look like you and me. Some are disguised as high society type individuals, and some are dressed bad. Question: when will they make themselves known? Answer: they are making themselves known every day through their people, mostly the deaf, dumb, and blind who the so-called righteous Muslims have not taught, who have failed to do their duty, which is to teach the uncivilized. There is a punishment for such forgetful action, which the people will inflict upon same for not telling the truth that was taught to them through the messenger of Almighty God. Question: how will this punishment come about? Answer: through mental and physical fighting. Question: where will most of this fighting take place? Answer: most of this bloodshed will take place south, far north, and far west. The west will be the fountain of dripping blood and insanity, murder, rape, 100% total violence. Question: how will most of the righteous Muslims survive? Answer: the only ones to survive this catastrophe will be the Muslims who have taken upon himself to learn, listen, and are completely righteous. The 5% are not completely righteous. There is only one who is capable of holding such a position, your leader and teacher. The 5% are only righteous to the degree of in between 85 and 95%. They have enough wisdom and knowledge to control themselves and make up for the 10% or 5% of unrighteousness lacking in them. Hell is built upon imperfection, or it would not be considered hell.
So this is suggesting to you is that a whole lot of brothers is waiting on trying to get righteous, 100% righteous, before you make a move. That's not going to happen. You got to work with what you got. So we're not making any progress. We're not building. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, when he was building a nation, he was calling upon people with expertise to join the movement. And in a lot of his meetings, temple meetings, Savior Day and other times, he would have guests from other churches, guests from teachers, from scientists, from broadcasting people, all people with expertise, especially teachers. And he would ask them to help him build. No matter if you were good at finance or economics or working with your hands, you were a tradesman, electrician, plumber, whatever, a farmer, a scientist, he would call upon these different brothers and sisters to aid him build a nation. And he started building a nation. He had aviation people who knew how to fly planes. He had people, sailors, and who know how to navigate the waters. He had bankers. He had doctors, lawyers. Prior to 1975. But the enemy was very shrewd in coming in and getting next to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's sons and relatives and making all them hypocrites. And you heard Allah say that you're going to have severe punishment. Let us continue.
It's only right to a certain extent, due to the people who constructed it having imperfect capabilities. Question: how can we survive this hell that is due soon to break loose? Answer: survival is through different aspects of light that has been given out. Wisdom, knowledge, and light has been given to fit any and all occasions that would prevail itself at any given time. To recognize different segments of time has been given. If one fails to recognize it before it is upon you, it is one's own fault. There is no amount of pity given out, only total suffering when the time has been appointed. This happens individually and collectively due to certain circumstances prevailing. Question: what should the brothers in the Nation of Islam do to counteract this downfall that awaits? Answer: as the Messenger of Allah has taught, one should study lessons, read the Holy Book, certain passages that the Messenger has prescribed. So says the Almighty God. Keep the company of the so-called righteous, or brothers who are trying to sustain themselves in Islam, and most of all, brothers who will teach the brothers who are lacking in wisdom and knowledge. So says the Almighty God. This is the time for all single brothers who have not continued themselves on through their seed to merge and enjoin one another. Come together with one another, so says Almighty God himself. For surely one will find it very difficult from here on. Question: where is this wisdom and light that is so needed? Answer: there is no more light to be given. It is incumbent upon each individual to find and search for what he or she does not have, for surely the time is not far off. Islam in 90 degrees. There are things faster than the speed of light that in this atmosphere it is possible for an object to travel on a magnetic wave at 282,000 miles per second, and that beyond the
Now we getting ready to go into some deep stuff here. I'm going to cut it off right here. He said a magnetic wave. Now, we are into vibrations. I'm just giving it to you a little bit at a time, but I want you to focus on what you just got through listening to. And we're going to probably close out about this time. And we'll try to make it back here tomorrow. So let's go here. I just want to say a few more things.
I don't think I ever missed this.
Before you were preventing migraine with Qulipta? You'll never truly forget migraine, but Qulipta reduces attacks, making them...
I'm reading from Supreme Wisdom book. I'm gonna start down at this is the problem book 6. It says the uncle of Mr. W.D. Farad lived. Wait a minute, hold on. I'm gonna read this to you right quick, and then we're gonna get out of here. It says, the uncle of Mr. W.D. Farad lived in the wilderness of North America, and he lived other than his own self. Therefore, his pulse beat 78 times per minute, and this killed him in 45 years of age. Now, I'm not going to read the question. I'm just reading to you a significant part of this sign right here. It's a sign, and it's telling Master Farad is calling us his uncle, and he's saying that he's our nephew. So he's putting us higher than himself. And then he says the wife of Mr. W.D. Farad, uncle, in the wilderness of North America, weighs other than herself. Therefore, she has rheumatism, headaches, pain in all joints, and cannot walk up to the store. She is troubled frequently with high blood pressure and registers more than 32. Her pulse is nearly 80 times per minute, and she died at the age of 40. So in the archives of one of the videos, I was showing that those brothers and sisters over in Africa adopted the lifestyle of the Caucasian. It was eating wrong, living wrong, wasn't exercising. And then someone came and showed them how to eat right, live right. Right in the thick of Africa, they adopted the white man's ways. Now I'm going to go down here. I'm going to skip some. Go down here. It says, the average person breathes 3 cubic feet of air per hour. Now we're talking about chi. Now this book came out in 1933, and this is what he was talking about: chi. The average person breathes 3 cubic feet of air per hour, but the second uncle of Mr. W.D. Farad breathes 4 1/2 cubic feet of air per hour. 500 pills equal to 1 pound. So that kills him at the age of 46. Says the second uncle used in 46 years. Wait a minute.
How many pounds of pills did Mr. W.D. Farad, second uncle, use in 46 years? How many cubic feet of air did he breathe in 46 years? How many cubic feet of air did he breathe? Never mind how to solve the problem, but listen to the reference. Cubic feet of air. If the air value selling price, then the third uncle of Mr. W.D. Farad, will have been robbed of the atmosphere. How much air did he breathe more than the average man? So he's talking about air, breath, inspiration. So this is where we're going to take you to master power and force. It's in the air. If 100 of a cubic inch contains 200 million atoms, this represents, all of this around him represents atoms. The total atmosphere weighs, if 100 of a cubic inch contains 200 million atoms, the total atmosphere weighs 11 2/3 quintillion pounds. 1/3 11 and 2/3 quintillion pounds equal atoms. Mr. Muhammad cracked one of the atoms into 10 million parts. Now, some of this might be a little bit too heavy for you to realize or comprehend. But study this school session, and we're going to get back to it hopefully tomorrow. All right, for right now, we're going to close down. If I don't get no more likes and subscribe, I don't know how long I'm going to deal with it. I don't know if they blocking my views. I don't know if they because I don't have a chat room. Maybe I don't know how to get to a chat room, because I'm an old school brother in a new school technology, and it might take a little bit for me to work this device. It could be my fault, or it could be your fault. But this is the kind of knowledge you won't get in college, and the kind of flavor that will save you. So sugar and sugar, salt is salt. If you don't like my talk, it ain't my fault. Assalamu alaikum.